verse 20, supplement to 40 verses on reality. Ulladhu naarpadhu anubandham given to us by Sri Ramana Mahatshi. இதய மலர்குகை அகமாய் இலகு இறையே குகேசனென எத்தப்பட்டோன் நிதமனைய குகேசன் யான் என்னும் சோகம் பாவனைதான் நின்னுடம்பில் திதமுறும் நான் என்னும் திடம்போல் அபியாச பலத்தால் அத்தேவாய் நிற்கில் சிதையுடல் நான் என்னும் அவித்தை செங்கதிரோன் இருள் எதிர் இருள் போல் சிதையும் அன்றே. In the previous verses we saw that there is a pinhole through which the limitless Brahman enters the body and reduces itself to the size and capability of this body. That particular place, that pinhole which is covered by vasanas, memories, that is the cave of the heart. The place at which Atma starts functioning as the individual being. In this verse he says the Lord, the Supreme Lord or Brahman or Atma or God, He dwells in the cave of the heart, he says. He dwells in that cave of the heart. So let us not imagine some physical cave. It is the point, the birthplace where the ego is born. If we keep our attention on that, the bodily sense of I will go and Atma will shine forth. That's all. It may take time, but that is the process. Now, if you start thinking that, instead of thinking I am this individual, you start thinking that I am this Brahman. If you start thinking constantly, and you have to be as sure as the feeling you have now that I am the body, with the same sureness, if you continue to think that I am the Supreme Lord, I am the Brahman, I am one with Brahman, I am one with Atman, I am not this body mind alone. If you start thinking like this, and with the practice, if you stabilize yourself in that thinking, he says this ignorance that I am the body will be removed the way darkness is removed upon the dawn of the sun. That is what this verse says. So even Shankara's work also says, Atma Bodham says the same thing. So long as we are not enlightened, the physical world, the body, everything will look to be real. But once realization dawns, he says it will be like a dream. It will be false. He says, Poyyagi Pom, he says. Sri Bhagavan has translated Atma Bodham into Tamil. So, all that they are saying is that it is going by car in the forward gear for some distance and then coming back with the help of the reverse gear. All these years, all these decades, all these lifetimes, we have been habituated to thinking that I am the body. Once you start thinking that you are the body, naturally all other thoughts will, throng. They will crowd you. And you will keep entertaining thought day in and day out about body, health, relationships, money, pleasure seeking, etc. This loop will go on and on in waking. And in a dream, something happens without our conscious volition. And in deep sleep, of course, this machine called mind is shut down. Laptop is shut down. But the laptop is not erased. Its content is not erased. It is kept intact. The moment you wake up, or rather the content itself makes you wake up in the morning with thought. Once thought arises, we are not in the experience of Atman. Once we are in the experience of Atman, thoughts do not arise. That is what Sri Bhagavan says, Nanudiyadhulla nilai, the state in which thought does not arise at all. Ennam ilanam than, he says, I am one who does not have thoughts. But thoughts are needed for survival. So long as we are in the body, we do have commitments, everyday commitments. We need to do work, we need to earn money, take care of the family, children, etc. So gradually, without suddenly giving up everything, you start questioning, who is it who is operating as this I thought? Who is it who is making the thoughts arise? Keneshitam padati preshitam manaha. This is the opening sentence in Keno Upanishad. which is that power which makes you think, which makes you entertain thoughts. So slowly we need to reach the thoughtless state, that is called stillness of the mind. Be still and know that I am God. Sri Bhagavan often quoted this biblical statement. Is it that difficult? Yes or no? It is, I think, yes and no. It all depends on my current level of thought maturity, and it depends on your current level of thought maturity. Maturity of thought is very, very important. If you don't have maturity of thought, we will become a victim to the thinking process. Thoughts will overtake us, overpower us. They will consume us. Instead of our using thoughts, thoughts will start using us. This is the predicament of a human being. 99.9%. Few people who have taken n number of births, who have seen the life's joys and sorrows, they slowly tend to withdraw from the physical order of the universe. They no longer are enamored by the physical world. Because the definition of your ultimate reality, my ultimate reality, Advaita Vedanta says, is Sat Chit Anandam, pure existence, pure awareness, and pure bliss. Bliss not arising out of consumption of any material product or contact with another human being. If you just give up contact or even the thought about all material things, including other human bodies, human beings, what remains is bliss. So we don't have to beg with the world, please give me some happiness. This is the truth. We have forgotten our true nature. Bliss is said to be the ultimate pointer to our ultimate nature. If we are in bliss, we will not seek pleasure through material objects or other human beings. If we have eaten to the brim up to here, we would not be interested in eating even if the items were so attractive, so tasty, because we'll be in a saturated condition. That saturated condition is what describes a jnani. Without consuming anything, he is saturated, he is full, he is in a state of bliss. This is the mechanism. Some treachery is involved, some cheating mechanism is involved. This Brahman, which is the form of absolute bliss, gets tied up with this body through the mechanism of Chit Jada Granthi, the knot between the self, the Brahman, the featureless Brahman, and the physical limited body. The knot takes place and we are in the trap for lifetimes. This is the ultimate truth. So how do we come out of it? How do we realize our true nature? This verse says you constantly start thinking that I am one with the Supreme Lord, or I am the Supreme Lord. People who are deeply entrenched in a dualistic thinking, they'll hesitate to think like this. Oh, should I think that I am the Lord of the universe? Advaita Vedanta says Tattvamasi, that thou art. Aham Brahmasmi. What is Brahman? Absolute existence, absolute bliss, absolute knowledge. Knowledge of any subject, physics, chemistry, etc. No. Knowing principle. That which enters the body and functions as knowledge or absence of knowledge, ignorance. This is a mechanism. So, the original knowing principle cascades down into the body, into the upadhi, the extra fitting, and starts functioning as the knowing principle within the body. So through the mind, intellect, we start knowing many things about our life, everything, what body is, what life is, what planet is, what the universe is, what science is, what technology is, all that we start knowing through the intellect. But what lies behind the intellect is that knowing principle, that is Brahman. So we should, instead of cascading down, we should transcend, we should go up to our original nature. So constant practice, that is the key. We have to practice stillness through some technique or other. Yev ubayatinale vayuvirchalana ivulam kattupadumo en Devi Kalotharam says. Whatever be the method, somehow you have to make the mind still. Every day you need to practice it. Either through breath control or through mantra japa or through devotion to your Lord, whichever God you pray, believe in. slowly the mind starts settling down. It becomes waveless and it reaches a point where it is absolutely still. That stillness is said to be Brahman. That's all. Yeah. For that, the condition is we should stop identifying with the body. We should start thinking in the opposite direction. I am not the body alone. I am this body, mind, and all else. Sri Bhagavan says, I am universal consciousness. I am consciousness which is conscious of the entire universe, entire existence. I am universal consciousness which includes this body, mind also. So we need to expand. How will you expand? Can we stretch this body the way we stretch a rubber band? No. There is something which is already stretched limitlessly, but that is subtle, that is formless. That is why we find it difficult. We are habituated or addicted to thinking only in terms of matter, physical body, our body, others' body, the material objects in the world, chair, table, tree, sea, sky, stars, etc. But there is something like a thread which runs through the whole existence, all the objects in the existence. That is Brahman. That is your true nature, my true nature. How will we reach that? By becoming thoughtless. Can I become thoughtless all the time? Should I not be doing my work? You do. Then set aside some time to think about the Advaitic truth. Constant practice of listening to the truth, thinking about the truth and settling down. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam is the method suggested in Advaita Vedanta. So if we give up this mind, this thief will steal us. We will be thinking constantly about objects, about other people, etc. Constant practice at being still is important. We become still by being still. We become still by practicing stillness. Because they've placed a very high premium on practice. Without practice, it is impossible to tame this demon of the mind. He would not listen. He is wayward. He is disobedient. He'll keep doing what he wants to do. All the time throwing up thoughts and making us hooked to those thoughts. So this is the thing involved. So the cave dweller is none but Brahman. Where is the cave? Inside us. Earlier we saw between the two chests and the abdomen, somewhere on the 2 fingers or 2 inches away from the middle of the chest, there lies Atman or Brahman or the cave of the heart. There the limitless Atma becomes, reduce itself to the size and capability of the body. If we keep our attention there, Atma will shine forth of its own accord. We don't have to create this all-powerful, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent God. We cannot create. It is already functioning all the time. The sun is shining forth all the time. All that we need to do is to remove the cloud. And he says, with the help of continuous practice, by thinking constantly that I am Atma, I am Brahman, I am formless, I am infinite, I pervade the entire universe, yet I am untouched. If you go on thinking like this, slowly with the help of practice, he says this ignorance that I am the body, Jiva Bodham, the sense of individuality will go. Let us think about it.